Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is December the 7th, and there are, I think it's about 6 or 7 games in the NBA for today, so we'll jump into those. Quick recap of yesterday. Only one official play for me. We took Trey Murphy up and over his point total at 19 and a half. He cashed. I think it was no matter whatever line you got, he ended up cashing yesterday. So 1-0 day, man. I will take it. 1-0 day in the NBA. Stayed away from the other spots that we talked about. I think overall would have been 3-2 as far as plays that we talked about on the show that made the short list. Want to jump into JaXon after we look into the comments real quick, but I need to double check something very, very quickly before we get started. Let's see. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. All right. Let's jump into it, man. Minnesota. A lot of people made money with Minnesota. I got a lot of DMs on Twitter about this. I didn't even bet it myself, but it was a really good bet. They were down 6, ended up winning the game last night outright. What up, Prolific? Says had a good time with Brunson yesterday. Signed jerseys for the whole fam. That's dope, man. Shout out to you. I saw you were got that pic on Twitter. Milwaukee trend, LA easy money. What's up, Rick? Appreciate you for tapping in. He cost me last night. Steven says that I mean, you can't let Zach LaVine hit 33 pointers. Hawk cast me yesterday. Jalen Johnson's a beast. Back-to-back triple doubles for him. Absolutely. He says we could have thought Nick Claxton. Who would have thought Nick Claxton gave me the biggest cash of the season? Triple double plus 5,500. Nice. What's up, 77 figures? He said, fellas, well, my Wizards experience is over the rest of this season. Yeah, you can't be playing Wizards, man. You can't be playing on the Wizards, man. Absolutely not. Never a good spot for the Wizards, ever. Ever. Photojob says Knicks bash spot. So let's jump into JaXon, man. First up, we'll go there as we always do. JaXon had a, I think it was a 1-in-1 day yesterday. Let me just double check. So JaXon liked, dang, I literally just had it up too. JaXon like PJ Washington over his 7.5 rebounds and assists. He finished with 8. My fault. He finished with 8. He had 7 rebounds and 1 assist. So that was a winner, sweaty winner, but a winner. And then the other player prop was on Duncan Robinson over his 15.5 points plus rebounds and assists. He didn't do anything last night. That was the loser. So 1-in-1 day for JaXon last night. Today, wanted to switch it up a little bit. Asked JaXon about, I wanted to give you guys a side and a total bet. So I asked JaXon, the prompt that I typed in specifically was what is the single best total bet in the NBA today and the single best spread bet in the NBA based on situational spots and this season's analytics. JaXon likes the New York Knickerbockers -2.5, -114. And it says that I'm locking in the Knicks -2.5 versus the Magic. The Knicks are significantly undervalued by the market, as their season-long efficiency metrics suggest they should be laying a much larger number at home. So we have net rating differential. The Knicks are 3rd in net rating at a +9.3. The Magic ranked 10th at a +3.3. This creates a 6-point differential in efficiency. Expected spread. So based on this differential, the Knicks should be favored by approximately 6 points. On the neutral court, this line of 2.5 is undervalued by 3.5 points. Making this the clearest analytical value on the board. Offensive dominance. The Knicks boast the 2nd best offensive rating in the NBA. Their leading scoring in transition, ranking 4th in efficiency. And corner threes, they rank 2nd in corner 3 effective field goal percentage at 42.4%. So then there's some momentum and health. The Knicks are coming off a massive 146 to 111 rout of the Utah Jazz, where they set an NBA record with the 23-0 start in that game. This kind of dominant performance built confidence and momentum. OG Anunoby's return. OG Anunoby returned in that game and felt good, scoring 11 points in 23 minutes. While he's still working on conditioning, his presence restores the Knicks' preferred starting lineup and provides elite wing defense. So it also says while the Magic have a strong defensive rating number 6, the Knicks' elite offense is perfectly suited to exploit the Magic's weakness weaknesses, particularly in their high efficiency scoring from the perimeter and in transition. Knicks minus the 2.5. First look. Second look, the under between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Utah Jazz. So this is 236.5. It looks like it's available on Caesars. It says this pick is driven by a massive game-changing situational factor that neutralizes the Thunder elite offense. So the line is inflated due to the Jazz fast pace and the Thunder's league best record. However, the absence of Thunder's MVP candidate completely changes the game script. So situational factors, SGA is out. He's been ruled out due to a left elbow bruise. This is monumental. This is a monumental loss. SGA is the reigning MVP, averaging 32.8 points, 6.4 assists, 4.7 rebounds per game. He scored at least 20 points in 95 straight games. His absence removed the primary scoring and playmaking engine for the Thunder's offensive rating, which ranks number 5th at 119.6. Elite defense. So the Thunder still boasts elite defensive rating, 104.2, and the best point differential at plus 17.3. The defense will not regress without SGA. Jazz and efficiency. The Jazz are a poor offensive team, ranking 21st in offensive rating, 29th in defensive rating, while they play at a fast pace, 4th. Their inefficiency means they will struggle to score against the league's best defense. So 2 looks for JaXon. I'm not going to continue to read them, but there is more here in the analysis. And you guys take that information and do whatever it is that you want. Let's jump into the matchup. So first up, we got the Orlando Magic. JaXon just talked about this game. And the New York Knickerbockers. Taking a quick glance at the injury report, we know Paolo came back in that last game against Orlando, for Orlando against the Miami Heat, and they were able to get a win. Had to fight tooth and nail to come back in that game and get a win, but they did. So now only Mo Wagner is on the injury report and Castleton, who's not a part of the rotation anyway. On the Knicks side of things, it is like you kind of got to pump the brakes a little bit. They'll still be without Landry Shamet, but the reason why you got to pump the brakes is Karl-Anthony Towns is listed as questionable in this game. For me, like I think Cat plays, and I think it's Knicks or nothing. I agree with the analysis from JaXon, not primarily because of the reason for this analysis, but this line was at 3.5. Money's coming in on the Orlando Magic in this spot. Orlando has been very, very feisty as a dog. I can't remember exactly what their record is. They've been really, really good in this spot, but I just like the double revenge for the Knicks, man. They've been owned by this team so far this season. They have in-season double-digit revenge. They've lost both games against this Orlando Magic team this season by double digits. I like that, for the Knicks, the Orlando Magic typically cover as a dog, right? Like that. This is the role that you want them in. They've actually failed to cover 3 straight games. The Orlando Magic have, and they were laying points, right? They were laying points against the Bulls. Barely won that game. They were laying points against San Antonio. Didn't even win that game. And then they were laying 6 in the last game against the Miami Heat and won that game by 1. So you typically want Orlando. It's hard to fade them on the road. I don't know if I'll actually get there, but that's the way I like it, man. I think, looking at the Knicks having double-digit in-season revenge, losing both of the games against Orlando so far by double digits. It is 4th and 6 nights, but it's their 3rd straight home game, and they didn't have to play too hard in that last game against the Utah Jazz after smoking them in that spot. So I like the Knicks. I think that they bounce back in this spot. I also considered the over. The Knicks are 3-1 to the over in revenge games so far this season. Orlando's been an over team so far this season as well, 7-3 to the over when they're playing on the road, and they're 3-1 to the over if they're road dogs. So their offense tends to play better in this spot. Both of these games that they played between these 2 teams so far have landed 231 and 254. Here's the problem why I didn't take it, because for whatever reason, Orlando's offense has been better without Paolo in the lineup. Like if you watch Orlando play recently, they've been scoring the basketball. They get up and down the floor. They push in transition. With Paolo coming back, they got to like 107 points against Miami. That's a little bit troublesome for me. So I don't think I'm gonna get there on the total. I considered it, for a while, but I think I'll stay off the total. I like the Knicks a little bit more. I do like the over. I think with the total coming down, I don't necessarily agree with it. I think both of these offenses are pretty good. I just worry about the Magic with Paolo in there. And this line is coming down to 2 on some books. So maybe that's news that Cat isn't going to play. I won't be playing it until I know if Cat is going to play for sure. So that's my thought process on this one. Didn't really look into much in the player props. Consider Josh Hart over his rebounds and assists, just thinking that he'll have to play big in this game. But with OG Anunoby coming back, I think, he may take a little bit of a back seat. I also consider Miles McBride. We know that the Magic are one of the most prolific defenses as far as guarding shooters on the wing. They don't give up a lot of spot up shots because they play everybody man to man, one-on-one straight up. But I do think that just the minutes that McBride has been playing recently, it could he's seen an uptick in minutes. He's averaging like over 30 minutes over his last 5 games. His points probably listed at 9.5. That's something that was on my short list as well. So that's my thought process on this game. Let's see. Mitchell says, good morning, Chris. Let's get it. Make sure everybody, everyone, we are getting those likes up today. That'd be nice. Appreciate that, Mitchell. Malik says, hey, who's the MFO on the Warriors, man? Give me Spencer Brooks today. And the whole city needs a Bears win today as well. What's up, Malik? Burrell says, top of the morning, Chris. Knicks minus 2.5. Magic on top. Magic on look ahead spot to the Heat in the Cup quarterfinals. That is on Tuesday. I did see that as well, for real. I couldn't talk you off of that spot. I could not talk you off of that spot at all. But you got to think about it, right? The Knicks, the counteract to that is the Knicks also got both of these teams will be playing on Tuesday in the Cup quarterfinals or semifinals, whatever it is. The first round of the Cup games. The Knicks will be in Toronto playing against the Raptors. They will be on the road for that game. So both of these teams, I think you got to take it in both into consideration. Pizza C agrees. Knicks minus 2.5, my favorite spot on the board for today. Vario says, what up, Chris? How'd your son game go yesterday? My 9-year-old daughter wanted to ball this year. I'm a first-year coach. It's fun and brings life and joy in the teaching game. Man, we got obliterated yesterday, which I kind of figured, man. I remember a couple weeks ago I had to go to Philly, so I had to cancel practice. We only got one good practice in. I wouldn't say obliterated, actually. We just didn't score the ball like I thought. We got a lot of learning and growing to do, man. But it's cool, because they're 6 and 7, so they're, trying to just get the ball up and down the floor without carrying it or traveling. Like, we just learning the basics, But it's fun, man. It's fun. We had a good time yesterday, and I'm excited to see how much we can actually grow. I think that's the big thing for me right now, is just seeing how much these guys can grow. That's on my team. Because a lot of them come in, they're first graders. They don't have any experience. They've never played on the team before. So they're trying to learn everything at the same time. And I understand that you got to, it's like small bites, right? So, yeah, appreciate you asking, Ovario. We did not look good yesterday, though. Not that the other team looked great. We just did not look good. Also reminding people, hit the like button. Appreciate that. Fly says, what's goody, my boy? Appreciate the show. Got you running. While dealing with these kids. Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. Chad says magic. Markel says magic money line. So we got some differential in opinions here. Spread should be 2.5, Markel says. Adam says Knicks 13-1 against the spread at home, right? They are. I didn't even want to bring that up, but yeah, they are. Paulo is on a minutes restriction. I mean, they're good without him, especially when they're a dog. Real quick, just to give you guys some numbers. And this is why when I was looking at the game last night, I screenshotted on my phone. I was on the money baller. I immediately wrote over down in my notes. But like I said, with Paulo coming back, it's kind of not as great, man. The Knicks are, so we go look at some trends real quick. The Knicks are 11-1 against the spread at the crib. The Magic are 3-1 against the spread as a road dog. This is typically the Magic road. You would typically want them getting points. Both of these teams rank either top right outside the top 10 or inside the top 10 in offensive and defensive metrics. I can see it being a toss-up type game. I just think the Knicks with two double-digit revenge makes a lot of sense, in my opinion. Brian says, Chris, Minnesota, the second half yesterday. Just like your handicap. Cash me up yesterday. Thank you very much. I'm glad you cashed, Brian. Glad you cashed, man. I'm always hesitant to play those because you kind of needed to add up right, but Timberwolves, just for whatever reason, they cannot cover a first half spread, man. Out there playing with blindfolds on. Let the Clippers go up by 18 points yesterday. But all right, that's in the past. Let's keep going. Next game up, Celtics and the Raptors. So game be played in Toronto today. This spread is 3.5, depending on where you're shopping. Total was 224. I don't even know what this opened at yesterday. Matter of fact, let me go to my notes real quick. I typically, like, I'll go on OddsJam on my phone. I'll screenshot the odds the night before I start handicapping. So this is at 2.5 for the Raptors, and the total was at 226.5 is what I saw. 227.5. So I guess you could say that the total has come down and the Celtics have taken a little bit of money. which I guess makes a lot of sense, right? You got to look at it from an injury report perspective that Boston doesn't have anybody listed outside of Tatum, of course. And then on the opposite side for Toronto, no RJ Barrett, of course, and not Quickly, but Quickly is also listed as questionable in this game due to illness. So we'll see. He did have 31 in that game against Charlotte, but they got absolutely obliterated the other day. That was a 5th game in 7 night spots, which means that for Toronto today is 4th game in 6, 3rd and 4. But the thing for Toronto is they play all of their games at home. They have failed to cover, I think, 5-6 games in a row now. Ever since they went out on their road trip, they have not looked great. Remember, they played Charlotte, lost that game outright, got smoked by the Knicks, came back home, didn't look great against Portland, barely won. Then the Lakers are Rui Hachimura, corner 3, and then they get blown out by the Charlotte Hornets on the second leg of that back-to-back 5th game in 7 nights. So they got a lot of work to do. And on the opposite side for the Boston Celtics, they have looked absolutely immaculate recently. But and just to put a little bit more into Boston, and you guys probably know this already, they covered 8 of their last 10 spreads. They've looked really, really good. This is the first game so far this season between the teams. They won 4 straight. They covered all 4. They've actually covered their last 7 games in a row. And they've also been playing overs. Their offenses just look really, really good. 126 against the Lakers, 146 against the Wizards. That's not super impressive, but it is impressive to score plus 140 plus. 120, and that was without Jaylen Brown. 123 against the Knicks. 117 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. 115 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. 117 against Detroit. Like, their offense and defense has just both been playing really, really good. And they don't have a look ahead. They don't play again. They got 3 days off after this. Then they play against the Bucks in Milwaukee. Toronto got the cup game coming up against the Knicks. They will want to, bounce back. Whenever you lose to Charlotte by 25 points, man, like you gotta. I don't think when the last time Charlotte beat somebody by 25 points. We gotta think about that first and foremost. As far as the game goes, it's hard to look towards Toronto, especially if Quickly isn't going to be out there. Especially with Toronto, it would make sense for Toronto to rest Quickly. If it's any kind of an illness and they don't want it to get worse, just because they got the cup game coming up. So I guess I agree with the line, moving towards Boston. I don't really like to lay too many points for Boston. I feel like they have been good, and it's hard to deny that. I haven't made any money with Boston on this run that they're on, but they are balling right now. Jaylen Brown's balling. I want to say since they put Welsh in the lineup, there's something like 7-0 or 5-0 or 6-0 or something like that. Seems super easy to take Boston, but I still kind of think that they're the right side. I do think that they're the right side in this game. I also think over 224.5. You just kind of need Quickly in. Toronto's offense can be super stagnant at times, especially without RJ Barrett and now potentially without Quickly. I think Boston's the right side. That's my thought process. Let's see. Yeah, that's a fact. He might not play. He may not play. Jaylen Brown is balling. He absolutely is, Adam. Didn't really go through player props. I will, but I have not done so yet. Let's just see real quick. I hate taking the guy that's like been hooping recently. It's not my style of betting. Jaylen Brown points listed at 29.5. He's gone over, it looks like, in 5 of his last 6 games. The only game he stayed under was against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Minutes are there. He's averaging 34, 35 minutes per game. Against Toronto specifically, they do a pretty good job. They're top 5 defense as far as giving up points in transition. He gets about a fifth of his points via transition. But I feel like the usage is just so high. Like, it's hard to bet against Jaylen Brown just because we know the usage is going to be there. Let's see real quick. Against the Lakers, it probably wasn't as high because it was a blowout. He still had a 38% usage rate. So let's just look at games where he's had a 35% usage rate or higher this season. Yeah. He's averaged 33 points per game this season when he has a usage rate of 35 points. And that's happened 22 times so far this season. So if we expecting him to, have a 35% usage rate, he's probably going to get there just based off usage. I think that's a big part of, the handicap. But Derek White's been shooting the ball better. Like, I feel like Boston's just putting it together consistently. Towns just got ruled out. Oh, man. Towns just got ruled out. That's why that line was coming down. And it makes sense that the total is going down now, too. Yep, no Karl-Anthony Towns. That line's going to move. So 1.5. I still don't want Orlando. I probably would play under though. I think without Cat, it's going to be a struggle. But without Cat, also Josh Hart rebounds jumps out to me too. Somebody got to go down there. Cat average what? Like 11 rebounds per game. Josh Hart rebounds at 8.5. Yeah, I would like his rebounds. Without last year, when the Knicks played without Karl-Anthony Towns, Josh Hart averaged 10.6 rebounds per game. He was over in 6 of the 9 games, so 67% hit rate when he played without Karl-Anthony Towns last season. Josh Hart over his 8.5 boards makes a lot of sense in my opinion in this game. Get it at plus money too, plus 108 on DraftKings. Okay, handicap on the fly, right? Josh Hart over 8.5 rebounds. Appreciate you, Prop. Appreciate you, Malik. Walsh over 7.5 over 4 of the last 5 games. Yeah, he's been hooping, Mario. He's been absolutely hooping. OKC Washington says the C's on another level than the Dinos right now. They are. They absolutely are, man. Raptors just really struggling without RJ. I need to do a little bit more of a deeper dive. But yeah, they failed to cover 6 straight games in a row without RJ Barrett. And it's still a pretty bad situational spot. I would lean a little bit their way just because they're coming off a terrible loss against Charlotte. But the way that Boston blew out the Lakers, and then, before that, they played the Wizards without Jaylen Brown, like he should be fresh. They could continue to keep the streak going. I would lean Boston in that spot. I think that they can get the job done. But we'll see what happens with quickly because you can get a better line if he gets ruled in. All right, next one up is the Nuggets and the Hornets. Won't be on this one long. The Denver side of things, Christian Braun, Aaron Gordon, and Julian Strawther continue to be out. On the Charlotte side of things, they won't have a ball handler today. LaMelo Ball's out. Trey Mann is out. Colin Sexton are all out. So no true point guard for Charlotte. That could make this offense kind of look like the Portland Trailblazers without Jrue Holiday, in my opinion. So Denver is playing. I don't even think there was a lot of situational stuff for this game. I don't want to lay this big of a number, but Denver has owned Charlotte. They've won 7 straight games against them, 9 of the last 10. They don't typically cover, and they don't typically cover in Charlotte for whatever reason. So Charlotte's covered the last 1, 2, 3. They've covered 3 of the last 5 at home in this spot. The totals typically go under as well. I know Denver's been a strong over team so far this season. We cashed the over with them against Atlanta in the last game. They're 7-3 to the under when these two teams typically meet, though. When I went back and looked at it earlier, I was looking at the Denver Nuggets as road favorites in non-conference games, double-digit road favorites in non-conference games. And since they got Jokic, they're 6-2 to the under, only 2-6 against the spread as well. So it should be a little bit of a letdown spot for the Denver Nuggets based on last season. Well, the last 4 or 5 years numbers. The last 5 have actually stayed under the total as well. So it scares me a little bit, but I know that the Nuggets aren't playing any defense. I just worry about the Hornets being able to keep up, especially coming off such a big win like they did in that last game as well. Charlotte not going to play that great. The other thing that scares me is how bad Charlotte has been defensively. Outside of, I guess you can give them a little bit of credit in the Toronto game. They held Toronto to 86 points, but Toronto was playing 5th game in 7 nights in that spot as well. We got to take that into consideration. Charlotte's also played in, 7 straight unders? 7 straight unders for Charlotte. They're 8-2 to the under in their last 10 games. So it scares me to want to take a Denver team total over when I know how bad Charlotte offense could be, especially without LaMelo on the floor. So initially, I leaned Detroit Denver team total over. I leaned Denver first quarter minus the 3.5. I'm just not sure how, if they're going to come out and play with their food. Remember, they got down to Atlanta in that last game. They were down by 20. They, fought all the way back, took the nail to win that game. So I don't know. It's a scary one for sure. It's definitely scary. I do want to go real quick. Player prop I was looking at. Want to share this with you guys. Go over the outlier really quickly. Link is in the description if anybody's interested in checking it out. So if we go over the outlier and we look at, want to look at Mr. Miles Bridges, specifically on his assist prop. So because they won't have a true ball handler, I do think that at least in the games that I've watched, Miles Bridges tends to go out there and rack up the assists. So you can see he had 5 assists in this game. This was the game that LaMelo got hurt in. If we go to advanced filters and we go games without, if we simply just take out LaMelo, we can see that it gets a lot more greener, right? Specifically, towards this season. So you can see that these games all are this year's, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the 7 games that he's played so far this season without LaMelo, what did I write in my notes? He's averaging 6.3 potential assists on the season, but without LaMelo, that number goes up slightly to 7.1. In games where he's had 7 assists or more this season, he's over in all 4 games and averages right at 6 assists per game. The pace should be there. We know Denver plays super fast, one of the fastest paced teams, and I'm not sure how much they're going to bring it defensively. Brandon Miller can knock down some shots and Con Knibble can knock down some shots. I think that Miles Bridges assists at 4.5. This was plus money, plus 102 on DraftKings when I looked. And you can get a plus 105 right here on Novig as well. There's a link in the description if you guys are interested in Novig. You can see BetMGM has a plus 115 as well. So FanDuel actually had the worst odds at plus 102. But for me, this makes a lot of sense. Definitely a value play, but I think Miles Bridges, if they can knock down some shots, his assists are live in this game. So that's my thought process on this one. Jokic can get a triple-double, all that good stuff, but that's not something I think I want to bet on in this spot. Let's see. Ron says Denver team total on the road been good. What do you think? Yeah, Denver's just been an over team in general. I think there's something like we talked about this the other day. They are 8-4 to the over. They've gone over in 4 straight games. The Hornets, I'm pretty sure at home without LaMelo, not something you want to play over on though. Hornets are 8-3 to the under at home. So it's totally different trends. 3 straight unders, 5 of the last 6 stayed under the total when the Hornets are playing at home as well. And I'm pretty sure if we add that the total is greater than 230, they are 6-1 to the under so far this season. If the Hornets are at home games with a total that's greater than 230. So take with that, do what you want, Brian. I don't think I'll be playing a total in this game. Shout out to the Wolves. Denver plus 100. Denver to score 103 quarters. Okay, watch this. Says a plus 330. What up, Fred? He says lost 2 units on UVA money line. Tried to get back with the. Wait, who is that? Yeah, UVA, man. Boy. A lot of people went to the game yesterday, Fred. I know a lot of people that drove to North Carolina yesterday for that UVA game, for them to catch the loss. I didn't look at his rebounds, but it's going to be some opportunities out there for him. His points prop too. It's not like Denver is a top 5 defensive rated team. Markel says, I want nothing to do with the Hornets. Con Knipple over his assist, plus 235 ain't a bad look. So I'm thinking Bridges, you thinking Knipple. Kings cashed me out last night. Man, please, Denver. Please, Denver. Denver may score 200 points today. Denver team total, if anything. 122 is the number. 122.5 is the number. What's up, Lightbearer? Appreciate you for tapping in. Levine went crazy. He wants to go to Miami. Levine want to get somewhere, probably not Sacramento. All right, next one up, Portland Trail Blazers and the Memphis Grizzlies. So Portland will be on the road in this spot. Let's see. Portland will be on the road. As far as injury report goes, they will potentially be without Klingon. He's on the injury report listed as questionable in this game. And then no Scoot Henderson, no Drew Holiday. They continue to remain out. No Matisse Thybulle, and Wesley continues to be out. On the Memphis side, Ja has been upgraded to doubtful. And then the injury report stays the same. No Brandon Clark, no Ty Jerome, no Scottie Pippen Jr. And the Grizzlies, don't look now. Grizzlies actually been hooping, man. They opened this game as 3-point favorites. It's down to 1 now. And the total, which I like the most, has actually come crashing down as well. And I agree with the total coming down. So this total was at 236, I think it was yesterday. It's down to as low as 230, 1.5 on DraftKings. That's the way I kind of see this game. I think it's an under. I think it's a team total under spot for the Portland Trail Blazers. So if we start looking at situational stuff, the Portland Trail Blazers are playing 4th and 6. They are coming off a game that they lost to the Pistons after beating the Cavaliers, right? I told you, for whatever reason, this team would be, in the NBA Finals if they could play every game unrested. And unfortunately, it's not an unrested spot for them. But the Grizzlies, they're playing a second straight home game. They did get the Clippers out the way. Before that, they lost to the Spurs. It was a terrible spot. Last game before game road trip. They beat the Kings before that. They beat the Clippers before that. They beat the Pelicans before that. Hung tooth and nail with the Nuggets. Ended up covering that spread as well. Didn't end up covering that spread, but that was the Nuggets. When I think about the Trailblazers, I think about a team that doesn't play a lot of defense. I think about a team that wants to play super fast. But this Grizzlies team has been really, really good, man. They've been good since they got Klingon back. And I'm starting to notice the patterns and the trends here. So real quick, I want to show you guys what I was looking at. I'm actually going to go over to Cleaning the Glass, which I've talked about this site for a while. I'm not like, they don't sponsor me, but it's a really good site where you guys could find some really good analytical numbers if you're interested in that type of thing for your handicapping. So we go to teams, and then we click on Memphis Grizzlies, and then we go to lineups right here. Some of you guys have probably seen me do this before. We click on lineups, and then we go to filter lineup, and we look at Zach Edey on the floor. So a lot of times I like to just look at these numbers here. The offensive rating is 116.1. This is overall, right? Because I haven't filtered Zach Edey in. And they're giving up, 112.4 is the total, right? So this is their offensive rating. And then this is their defensive rating, 115.5, right? So they're minus 3.2 overall. All right, so if we filter this to Zach Edey being on the floor, the defensive rating is crazy. 96 defensive rating since Zach Edey returned, and they're plus 21. This is, of course, with him on the floor. Now, he's not going to play every single minute, but I think the Grizzlies are the right side. I think they can beat this team, the Portland Trailblazers that don't play a lot of defense, the Portland Trailblazers that like to get downhill a lot and attack the rim. Real quickly, I know Denny Avdia likes to live in the paint. I want to double check real quick, just to put some numbers to Portland, trying to get downhill and play at the rim. Portland attacks the rim at the 5th highest. They have the 5th highest rim frequency in the NBA, only 24th in accuracy. And Memphis discourages shots at the rim. They are top 10 in opponent rim frequency as well. The way you beat Memphis typically is from the 3-point line. Their 3-point defense is one of the bottom 10 in the NBA. However, the Portland Trailblazers are the worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA, 32.6%. I think the Grizzlies are the right side. I think Portland team total under 115.5 is the other thing that I'll be playing in this game. Based on just these two, those couple things that I just talked about. The way that Portland likes to score, Zach Edey being back, you guys can see the defensive rating with him on the floor and the 543 possessions so far. If we also look at Zach Edey on the floor with Jared Jackson Jr., who's also been playing, I would say, a little bit better. Team is good, man. Look at that, 96.6 defensive rating. The team total right now for the Portland Trailblazers is a 116.5. I think they stay under that number. Last night it was 117.5, but this total has come down just a little bit, and I agree with that. So that's my thought process on this game, man. I think it goes. I think the Portland Trailblazers struggle to score. Memphis, as long as they got Edey out there, should continue to be able to slow the pace down, block some shots. I like the team total under for the Portland Trailblazers. I also think Portland. I haven't bet the game, but I think Memphis should be able to win the game as well. That's my thought process. 33 likes. Rick says, hit the like button for me if you guys can. Not gonna beg for them. Let's keep going. Other games that I did not mention. Nobody likes that game. I just went over and get one comment on it, which is fine. All right, other games that I did not mention would be Golden State and Chicago. Man, I have no idea what to do with that game. Honestly, I think you got to wait on the injury report. Like, the way Golden State went into Cleveland and won that game, it was a terrible spot for Cleveland yesterday. 5th game in 7 nights. But, super strong performance against the Spurs, complete meltdown and letdown. I think they shot like 27%, 25% or something like that from the 3-point line yesterday. They just could not get a shot to go. This should be the spot that the Warriors run out of gas, though. We'll have to see what happens with the injury report, because yesterday they were without Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green, which I'm not sure if they play again today, if they play today or not. They were without Steph. They were without Al Horford. They were without DeAnthony Melton. we'll see if one of those guys or some of those guys come back. On the Chicago side of things, Ayo Dosunmu's listed as questionable. You need him in. The Bulls have been like just absolutely like terrible, 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games, I think it was. And they still have a lot of injuries as well. Isaac Okoro listed as doubtful. Terry's listed as probable. Kobe White's probable. You kind of want to make sure these guys are in. Kevin Huerter, big part of that offense, in my opinion, as well. He continues to be out. I just kind of feel like this is the spot that Golden State runs out of gas, though. And I think that's why this line's so short. Golden State laying 1 point on the road as a favorite, non-conference game, last game on the East Coast, second leg of back-to-back, third and fourth and sixth, coming off a big win as a massive dog last night. This feels like the Chicago spot. Now, am I betting Chicago? Absolutely not. On a Sunday? No way. If I did, it'd be a half-unit bet. But if Chicago gets everybody ruled in, I think they can win this game. This would be the game I would bet on Chicago. From a player prop perspective, we go right back to what we talked about on Friday. You got to find somebody on the Warriors. I don't know who it's going to be because I don't know who's going to play. But you got to find somebody on the Warriors and, attack their rebounds against the Bulls. This is not a good front line. I love Buzelis a lot. But he's not a great rebounder. Vucevic is not a great rebounder. The Chicago Bulls bleed rebound. So I'd be looking at somebody on the Warriors to grab some boards. And Josh Giddey should be able to go up and over his assist prop in this game. The Warriors not a bad defensive team, but this should be a spot where they run out of gas. And Giddey should, regardless of if they win or cover, he should be able to find some success against this Warriors team, in my opinion. So that's my quick thought process on this game. Steven says trifecta spot, Grizzlies under, Portland team total under. I couldn't talk you off. Could not talk you off at all. So that's that. Y'all sleep in the comment section, man. Wake up. L says Bulls also get smacked with the threes. I mean, they're not a great defensive team. I just think the Warriors, if you look at the Warriors' last few games, remember before the Warriors scored 99 points last night and won that game, they only got to like 96 or 97 against the Philadelphia 76ers. So this offense does not look great at all. They just been doing it a lot with their defense. And I tend to think defenses break on the second leg of back-to-back, third and fourth and sixth, especially when you're coming off a big win like that. So that's my thought process. Okay. All right, cool. I'll make sure I'm talking to myself, man. Appreciate you. Okay. Catavius says, what do you think about Jalen Brunson? I mean, he's gonna have to have a big offensive game, in my opinion, without Karl-Anthony Towns being there. Somebody else gonna have to step up as well. I think I like the McBride look. Jalen Brunson points are listed at 31.5. If we look at if we look this season in games without Karl-Anthony Towns, this will be the first one. So he's played. Karl-Anthony Towns played all the games. Last season, Brunson averaged 30.3 without Karl-Anthony Towns in 8 games. He only went over that number in 3 of 8 games. But he gets the best matchup because the Magic aren't necessarily the best. They're bottom 5 defense as far as defense against the pick and roll ball handler. And Brunson gets a lot of his points off the pick and roll ball handler. About 1/3 of his points, 32% of his points. We've seen guards have big games against the Magic so far this season as well. Jaylen Brown has actually gone over his not this season specifically, but Jaylen Brown went over his points against them this season. Yeah, guards have absolutely lit this team up, man. De'Aaron Fox had 31, Cade Cunningham 39. Jaylen Brown has had games of 35, 27, 32, and Cade Cunningham had another game of 30. So, I'd be betting on Brunson. I would be betting on Brunson. That's who I would be betting on. They also don't like the help. So they give up a lot of points in isolation. I'll be betting Brunson over his points today. He got to get to 32 in order for them to have a chance, in my opinion, unless somebody else just go nuclear off the bench. I like the Brunson look. I do like the Brunson look. 77 Vegas is Sixers plus 4.5. Trust PG and Joel playing against the Lakers. We know this. I don't know, man. The way that health goes, I have no idea. I do see it moving to 5 on Circa as well. So we shall see how that game goes. That was the other game, though. That was the next one. So let's go to that one real quick. Lakers and 76ers. So Luka is back. Bron is questionable. I think Bron's going to play in this game. PG and Embiid are questionable. Like, who said that just now? 77 Vegas said that. So, yeah, they are both listed as questionable. Sixers actually impressed me in that last game. Not going to lie. Because remember, I like Milwaukee. I played Milwaukee plus the 1.5. And it wasn't even just that, that the Sixers won the game in Milwaukee on the second leg of a back-to-back. after they beat the Golden State Warriors the night before. That's not what it was for me. It was more so that the way that they won the game, because Philly didn't play well in that game. Philly played well, but Tyrese Maxey actually played terrible. He was 5 for 14 from the field, 0 for 3 from the three-point line. He finished the game with just 12 points. But you see Paul George step up and have 20. Quentin Grimes have 22 off the bench. I think if I'm playing the game, I'm betting over. I think the Lakers offense on the road is going to be a lot better with Luka being back. Lakers have only played over 7-3 to the over in their last 10 games. They've actually gone over in 6 straight. Even the Boston game on this, the second leg of back-to-back without LeBron, without Luka, they still either offensively or defensively don't look good. They gave up 126 to the Celtics. They gave up 120 to the Toronto Raptors. They gave up 125 at home to Phoenix. They gave up 121 to the Pelicans, 119 to Dallas. Like, the defense has just not been great, but I don't trust Philly. I keep saying this. I don't trust Philly offensively. And they have been playing in a little bit more unders recently. But I still think that the game goes over. They held the Bucks down without Giannis, Golden State without Steph, without Jimmy, and the Wizards, who like really struggle to score against everybody. So I would be back on the over. I think Philly goes up, and I think that game goes up and over the total between the Lakers and the Philadelphia 76ers. The total did open at 235.5. It's going down to 232.5, but we know that the betting market is not always right. Remember, the betting market, like the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Clippers, over. I told you guys 1,000 reasons why I like the under yesterday. That game stayed under pretty comfortably, including that Clippers team total as well. That stayed under. So I'll be betting over in Laker games. Let's see. Jalen Wells been cashing his points. Yeah, he's looked really good lately, Adam. He has looked really good. I think he's over in 4 or 5 games. I think I was reading something from the beat writers said that he's kind of rejuvenated this start of the season. Sundays are weird in the NBA. It's why I have no bets placed right now, but I am here to talk them out with you guys. Lightbeard said Pods goes over his points, rebounds, and assists. Giddy a triple double. Got to see who playing, in my opinion. And this the other thing is like this what scares me with Pods and Spencer. Is they got so many guards that all kind of do the same thing, like 3-and-D type guards. So many players that can handle the ball. Then you throw Seth Seth Curry into the rotation. You add DeAnthony Mitchell being back. Like, I have no idea who's going to get what for the Warriors. And we know Steve Kerr has the weirdest rotations in the NBA as well. Like, it scares me, man. Brian says Luka bounce back. Luka threes, AR points. Lakers get right. They should. Yap says, I like the Grizzlies today. Might close my eyes and take the Bulls plus 1.5. Also, I think those are 2 right sides, Biha. I do think there are 2 right sides. I just want to confirm the injury report. But I do like the Grizzlies. I don't want to bet Portland on the road. I think the Grizzlies can get right today, man. I do think they can keep it going today. Jared says, I'm work listening, but we here. My man. What's up, dude? Says late in the building. Good calls on Fears under his points. Blessing to check. I like Fears a lot. He got a little bit developing to do this game though, and it's not bad. Like, it's just. He just got a little bit of development to do his game, but he's definitely getting thrown in the fire. Like, he getting all the minutes. That's what you want as a rookie. Like, throw me out there. Let me figure it out. I'm gonna get my shot block. I'm gonna turn the ball over. Like, but I'm gonna learn. As long as I'm learning and I'm trying to get better, hopefully they got some vets on that team. DeJounte Murray that's in his ear. Like, I think Isaiah Pierce is gonna be good. He is super small though. Everybody gets healthy all of a sudden versus the Lakers. That's a fact. They do. But PG and Embiid would be on the least likely to get healthy out of everybody that gets healthy versus the Lakers. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Ricky says, I took the over LA versus Philly. Paulo or Franz. Paulo didn't do nothing, I think, night or the other night. I think with him being on a minutes restriction, that's something to take into consideration, right? Like, I'm not sure. Let's just go look at Paulo real quick. I'm not going to pull this up on the screen, but let's just look at Paulo. So let's see what they have his points prop listed at. He's only listed at 15.5. That's scary to me. 15.5 is a little low. He came back against Miami. He only played 20 minutes. So if he's going to not play that many minutes, I mean, it's not necessarily the best matchup, right? I feel like the Knicks got enough bodies to throw at him. You got like a Josh Hart, who's a pretty good defender. You got an OG Anunoby with revenge. I would probably be looking towards Paulo under on his props. It is juiced to the under as well. 120 minus 127. at least what I'm seeing on DraftKings. It's about a neutral matchup for him. Paolo gets a lot of his points in transition. Knicks are, middle of the pack in transition defense at 14th. He gets some points at the free throw line. Knicks don't foul. They're top 10 in opponent free throw percentage. Points allowed in the paint. Paolo gets about 66% of his points either in the paint or in the restricted area. The Knicks are 4th in points allowed. So real quick, if we just look at Paolo, let's just say that we know he's going to be capped out at 25 minutes. Like, he's not going to play more than 25 minutes. This season, he's only scored 4 points and 9 points. And that was the last game against the Magic and the first game against the Knicks. The first game against the Knicks, he had 12. This was the game he got hurt in. So it's only been 2 games so far that he's played less than 25 minutes, but he did stay under in both games. Last season, he didn't play any games where he played under 25 minutes. So that minutes part, I think, is big in my opinion, but it's also against, one of the better defenses that has double-digit in-season revenge. Yeah. I think if I play in Paolo, I'm probably looking at under. Trey Murphy delivered yesterday. Yeah, it got scary because for people who watched that game, I watched it. It's cutting my pop's hair yesterday watching this game, but it got scary because they were losing by about 30 points. I'm like, man, please let Trey Murphy come back in this game. Luckily, they hit some threes. To cut it, and then he ended up cashing at the beginning of the fourth quarter. I think it was like 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. He ended up cashing for us, but yeah, I should have just took Michael Porter Jr. over. Michael Porter Jr. looked like Jordan last night, man. I don't know if people got a chance to see that. Michael Porter Jr. is getting whatever he wanted. We got to make sure we start penciling in Pelicans opponent team total over. New Orleans playing, just take their opponent. Their opponent going to score whatever it is that they want, man. Who they play next? New Orleans got a couple days off, I think. But the Pelicans defense is the worst defense in the NBA. It's bad like the Wizards. I think they just play slower than the Wizards. They are really bad on defense, man. He made the Nets scored 119 points last night, and they slowed down late in the game. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 straight opponents have gone over their team total. 5, 6 of the last 7. 6 of the last 7 opponents have gone over their team total against the Pelicans. They gave up 130 to the Bulls, 133 to the Grizzlies, 133 to the Lakers, 149 to the Timberwolves in overtime, 125 to the Timberwolves, no overtime, and 119 to the Nets. Nets went over by 3.5 points yesterday, but they had a weak fourth quarter because they could have kept going easily in that spot. But yeah, do we bet LeBron under his points? 17.5? Not against the 76ers, but LeBron has been looking pretty bad in the first couple games that he's played so far this season, since coming back. So real quick, let's look at Bron. I'm not big. I wouldn't bet over on Bron though. I'll just say that. So Bron has actually only gone over in 1 of his 6 games so far. He's averaging 14 points per game. Just not in a really good rhythm right now. He shot 4 for 17 in that last game. So the opportunities are definitely there. 4 for 17 in that last game. Against Toronto, even though he had the game-winning assist, 0 for 5 from the three-point line. Against Phoenix, he shot just 3 for 10, 1 for 4 from the three-point line. Against the Dallas Mavericks, 5 for 13, 2 for 6 from the three-point line. The only big game he had was against the Clippers, 8 for 18, 44%, 0 for 4 from the three-point line against the Jazz in the second game back. And then that first game he played against the Jazz, he played 30 minutes. He shot 4 for 7 and 2 for 3 from 3. The Lakers did blow them out, I think, in this game. They won by 14 and covered that number. So, yeah, Bron has not been good. His 3 specifically has not been good. Let's see. He's averaging – because this is something I was thinking about yesterday. So he's averaging – Bron is averaging 4.5 threes so far this season. He's over in 3 of his 6 games so far. But he's a combined 1 for 9 in his last 2 games. So, and I want to say these are Bron's first couple road games, right? So if we just go away, yeah, he has not hit a 3 on the road so far this season as well. DJ, no 3s on the road so far. Last 2 games against the Jazz and against the Raptors, he's 0 for 9 on the road. So under 1.5 threes is actually minus 102 right now. That could be a look for Bron. I'm actually gonna write that down. I think that's solid. All right, we've been on here for way too long. Paulo on his boards. MBJ been running it over. Yeah, it was crazy yesterday. Yeah, that's a fact. MBJ is on the world tour. I was arguing with my cousin. He think MPJ better than Aaron Gordon. Nah, MPJ not better than Aaron Gordon, but he got a lot more opportunity than Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon could go, I think, do very similar things to MPJ. He can't shoot the ball as well, but he would be out there dunking on everybody if he played on this Brooklyn Nets team, man. They are not that good offensively. They're offensively challenged, to put it easily. Let's see. I'm laddering McBride threes for the 4th straight night. He's cashed every time. Had 7 on Friday. I can see that. Cedric said, goddamn, yesterday makes a guy really question why he's betting on these weekend games. Did good in the one spot that I picked, man. 77 figures is bronze, a 15-point per game score now. Down bad. Yeah, and if everybody's going to play for the Lakers, I just think that his usage is going to be a lot lower too. One of the things I need to track is like LeBron usage this year versus last year, because with Austin Reeves playing so good now, like Bron just doesn't have to do as much, and hopefully he's happy with that, so he can save his talents for the fourth, for the playoffs. So real quick, LeBron's usage this season is 21.4% right now. Bron has a 21.4% usage rate. If we look at last season, Bron had a 29% usage rate. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let's go look at Bron usage last season when he had less than a 21% usage rate. He averaged 18.7 points, and he was over in 4 of his 7 games. Don't trust Philly defensively. Philly could give it up to Bron, especially the way he likes to score the basketball. He could get downhill. If Embiid plays, if Embiid doesn't play, like I don't think they really got anybody that can stop LeBron from getting downhill. I'm not big on Drummond. I'm not big on like Bonner being able to stop bigs that can actually score the basketball. Bobby Portis has had a big game against them as well, so that's my thought process. Jerry McCain over his 1.5 threes. Anybody on Luka 50-point burger in Philly? What's Luka listed at today? 32.5 for the Luka the Don. First game after his second daughter is being born. Pretty good matchup. The 76ers are really bad against the pick and roll. We know Luka gets a lot of points. Love the pick and roll. 45% of his points comes from that above the break 3, and the Philadelphia 76ers are bottom 3 in defending that above the break 3. They give up a ton of shots there. That makes a lot of sense. I don't know about 50, but 40 maybe, Markel. J-Dub, 29 points, triple-double at plus 10. Ooh, plus 10,500. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. So the last game I didn't touch on, it says it opened at OKC minus 18, and the lines come all the way down to 9.5 now. And the total is at 238. It's come down to 237 and a half, depending on where you're shopping. So OKC, I talked about it, right? They'll be without Dort. They'll be without SGA. They also continue to be without Isaiah Hartenstein. Isaiah Joe continues to be out for a second game. No Caruso. So AJ Mitchell looks like he'll start alongside Casey Wallace and Jalen Williams. Both Jalen Williams are actually starting, and then Chet Holmgren will be anchored at the center position. So you kind of got to ask yourself, man, when is OKC going to fall off a cliff? Now, can they do it without SGA? I guess their defense, in my opinion, is still going to be really, really good. They just play a certain way. We know Utah's offense is a lot more better at home than it is on the road. Real quick, I want to see like. Want to see I want to see Jalen Williams numbers without SGA. we got to remember he's still not even 100% either. I think that you got to take that into consideration. Last season he played twice without SGA. He scored 19 against Dallas, 33 against Philly. He had a really good matchup too. So over in one, under in the other. This season, he has not hit 24 points at all. 11, 16, 22, and 15. This is the softest defensive matchup he's going to face, though. Jazz give it up, and they give it up to where he likes to score, which is in isolation. They are bottom 10. They give it up in points in the paint. They are second worst. Defensive rating is third worst. Not laying this big of a number with the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road without their star player, but I think the under is the right spot, though. I do think the under is the right spot. And I know JaXon gave it out. I want to look into it a little bit more. I agree with the under, though. I do agree with that one. Rick says, I like this one low on SGA. Definitely want to take J-Dub double-double or his points, rebounds, and assists. So his PRA line is 35.5. I would potentially look to like one of the role players in this game. Like, I kind of feel like Casey Wallace could have a big game. Like, none of those guys scare me. Then there's also like this OKC probably gonna come into this game like, all right, now like we need to prove that we can actually hoop without SGA on the floor. So they probably got some, incentive to actually play a little bit harder as well. Yeah, they probably got incentive to play a little bit harder as well. I'll probably be looking at like a AJ Mitchell's line is 18.5. That is super high for him, but it's warranted. Casey Wallace, in my opinion, he would be one of the guys I would be looking at. I just feel like he could get busy. He can shoot the three. He can get to the lane. Like, I like Casey Wallace game. At 10.5, I think that line set like really, really low, especially for how he likes to score the basketball. He gets a lot of his points via spot up, 32%. And the Jazz are the third worst defense against the spot up shot, specifically above the break three. I think his minutes goes up. He's averaging 28.5 minutes this season, expected to get 24 to 34. Yeah, I think Casey Wallace and I don't know. They still got a lot of scorers, in my opinion. One of those ways would be the ways that I would be looking. Also kind of want to take Keontae George under his assist just because I know how OKC do. I know how they get down, but it looks like that's already juiced to minus 154, so I'm not going to touch that. DraftKings got a minus 145, but yeah. All right, enough time on all these games, man. They didn't bet anything today, but I will go through and give you guys a short list of things that I would bet if I am betting them. Start at the top. So Orlando and New York. Knicks still maintaining that 1.5 point spread at the crib. Jalen Brunson over his points, though. Somebody asked about him earlier. It make a ton of sense to me. Over 31.5 in this game. Super high usage. I think that would be something I'll be betting if I was betting that game. Josh Hart over his 8.5 rebounds. We talked about that. And Boston, Toronto. You can get a Boston -3 right now, but I think I need to wait. I need to see what happens with Quickly. Because if Quickly's in, I like the over. Quickly's out, I like the under. Denver, Charlotte. Denver first quarter -3.5, I think was the best number. Miles Bridges over his 4.5 assists. I do like Memphis on the money line -1 in that same game. I like Portland team total under 115.5, I think is the number. And Golden State, Chicago. I think this is the Chicago spot. I do think it's the Chicago spot, but I need to see the injury report. Lakers versus Philly over. Need LeBron to get rolled in first, though, because he don't play any defense, and he helps the offense out. OKC, Utah, I like under. JaXon likes under. I like under. I'll be riding with JaXon in that spot. Under 236.5. That's a super high number without SGA being there. I know that the Jazz suck defensively at home, and their offense gets better. But boy, that's a high number. Let's see real quick. Jazz are 9-3 to the over. Games are averaging 254 points when the Utah Jazz are playing at home this season. They've gone over in a lot of games. They stayed under against the Rockets in that first game because they couldn't score. Stayed under against the Lakers. That's because the Lakers couldn't score. Kind of think this is the under spot. Yeah. All right. That's it, man. That's it. We'll be back tomorrow. Back tomorrow. Only 3 games slate for tomorrow, though. So we'll be back for that one, man. Appreciate you guys for tapping in as always. Short list is here. Resources are here. All linked in the description if you guys are interested in checking any of those out. Save yourself some coin. And yeah, that'll be it, man. Best of luck on your action for today. I will catch you guys in the next one.